on section 13.1, we're going to talk about hiring new employees. In order for a business to succeed, it must have sufficient number of people to make it run. Depending on the type of business, you might have many. Like I know at the movie theater, especially during certain times, they might need to have more people on staff. Or a McDonald's or Burger King or something like that, you're going to have people, because otherwise customers get angry if you don't have enough right away. But if you're your own shop, like for instance, if you're a mechanic and you own your own shop, do you need a lot of people? Maybe not. Maybe you're smaller, okay? But that's a possibility. That's what we're talking about. Finding qualified individuals to perform a business's duties is an important function. Where do you find qualified people to work at your business? Where are some places you can find people? How do you get the word out that you need to hire somebody?
Advertisement.
Huh?
Advertisement.
How? Where? Online? A sign? Okay, a lot of times, it used to be a couple years ago, especially driving down Broadway, I think I could see at least 10 or 15 different ones saying, now hiring. Agreed? Right when you guys were first starting to work, it was probably about like that. Now it's starting to slow down, okay, which that's okay. It is starting to slow down now. In order to meet the competitive edge in today's marketplace, a company needs to hire people who will enhance its mission. You want to hire good people. Hiring, if you have your own business, hiring your friends is not always the best thing in the world to do. Okay? Hiring people that are qualified to do the job that you want them to do is the best thing you should do. To fill openings in your business, you may need to recruit new employees. Recruiting is the act of soliciting qualified people to work for your company. This happens all the time in the business world where they want you, if I want Brianna to come work for me, I'm going to treat her good so that she comes to work for us. Okay? This summer, I was involved in because I'm a hockey coach and specifically I work with goalies. So my job, I actually got the opportunity to work with 4 guys that came to Minot. We brought them in to Minot to work with our goalies in this town. One works for the Carolina Hurricanes, which is in the NHL. Another one works with USA Hockey. That's the entire nation's hockey. Another one works now he's in the AHL with the Milwaukee Admirals. And the other one's playing professional hockey still. We brought those 4 people in. The director for the hockey boosters in town actually went out. They made sure that they were taken care of. So what did he do? He had to not only pay them to come and do that, but he flew them in if they needed it. They had to rent a car. Some of them came from Minneapolis, so they had to rent a car. They paid for it. That's all part of this recruiting business. Having all those different fees, that adds up. Okay? They also paid him money to be there. They also fed him every time they went out to eat. He was there. Yep, just put it on the card. I don't know how much money they spent on it. Don't want to know. But it was a lot of money just to bring 4 guys in from, in some cases, the highest level in the world, just to come to Minot to teach goalies how to play. Okay? It's pretty cool. But in order to get that total recruiting cost, what you do is you take any advertising expenses, so Daniel made the comment about advertising, whether you put a commercial out there or if it's on your sign or something. Maybe you rent a Newman sign to put it out there. Plus interviewing expenses. When we hire new staff members here, there's usually a team. Besides 1 or 2 principals, there's usually, like if it was in the math department, there'd be 3 or 4 math teachers in there at the same time. That costs money because they have to pay us for our time too. So if we want to do that extra, then they pay us a little bit extra to come and do that. That's part of an interviewing expense. And then any hiring expenses. One of the things that some people do, and not necessarily, in high demand jobs, they might say, you know what, if we're going to hire you, we're going to pay for you to move out here. So if I got a job in Nevada, for instance, and it was a really in demand, they might say, you know what, we need to move your family here, we'll pay for that. You need a house, we'll get you a house. So that happens. Okay, that's not make-believe. That actually happens a lot of times in the business world. Not necessarily in education. However, when I was first getting my first education job, that was one of the things. I went to this career fair thing that had all these places. It was at University of North Dakota, and there was all these different communities from all over the country. And they wanted, yeah, come on down. Weather's great. Nevada's awesome. California's awesome. Come on down. We'll pay for you to move down there. We'll figure out something. We'll find you an apartment. Whatever you need. Get down here. Did I really want to move all the way to California or Nevada? No. Thought about it, but no. Okay? So, as far as number 1 goes, which is on the middle of page 425, it says, find the total recruiting costs. And here's what it has you doing. Advertising expense is $2,150. The interviewing expenses had 2 different ones, $245 and $315. So maybe it was 2 different people that we had coming in. Okay, so that's probably what I would assume. The hiring expenses was $1,240, and another hiring expenses was $2,170. All you do is add every number together. So when I add that together, does anybody have a total yet? $6,120. So what I would assume probably happened there. My company spent $2,150 advertising that we had openings. I brought in 2 people that I interviewed, ended up hiring them. It was $245 because maybe I gave them mileage to come to actually be where I'm at, and one was a little bit further away than the other one. And then in order to make sure that they get hired here, that I might want to help them move, so one was further away. That's where the discrepancy in the cost was. But that's all it is. Add. Okay? Number 2, at the bottom of the page, says advertising expenses was $1,975. Interviewing expenses was $470 and $860. Hiring expenses was $475, $8,600, and 6% of a $190,000 house. How do you do that? Yeah. 0.06. Christian, why is it 0.06 when we say, wrong Christian, this Christian. Why do we Christians say 0.06 and not 6? No, I'm asking you because you said it first. Don't know? Why do we use 0.06 instead of 6?
You have to move the decimal 2 places for the.
What if I don't?
Then it's
You don't move.
6.
Then it would be like $600,000 I'd have to pay for this person. Is that going to happen? Probably not. Okay. So we take 0.06 times $190,250, I think was the cost of the house, right? Is that what it was? So what is 0.06 times 190,250? $11,413. What do you think I do with, 15? What do I do with all those numbers now? Add them together. And what's my total? $23,795. Is this a lot of money? It is a lot of money. So me as the business owner, why would I pay almost $24,000 for you to come work for me? Because you're a decent worker, and maybe because you're going to make my business grow. Maybe you're going to make it better. Okay? That's part of the reason. That's part of the deal. That's why they do that. That's why they give those people money to move there. You know, my dad a few years ago had an opportunity to go work in New York. He works in Grand Forks, but he had an opportunity to go work in New York. They were going to pay him a base salary of $250,000 plus living expenses. Now, they would have got him an apartment there, so they would have got that for him, and then he would have flew back and forth. He was only going to work for like 3 or 4 days a week. Okay? My dad's also in medicine, so that's why it's that much. All right? So as far as that particular way goes, is that a recruiting cost? You know, the base salary, not so much, but giving him the apartment, paying for his flights to and from New York to Grand Forks, is that, yeah, that would add up. But they wanted it. That's how bad they wanted him to come. Okay? He didn't, because he didn't want to move away from home, but he could have. Would have been a lot of money, but then he would have been away from home. Okay, so sometimes that kind of outweighs it. If you turn the page, 3 through 7 is almost in a chart type format. It says advertising costs, interviewing costs, hiring costs equals total recruiting costs. You add those three numbers together and you're done. Sound simple enough?
You want us to write it out?
Yes, the answer's okay. 8 is the same thing as 3 through 7. The only difference is it tells you what they're doing. So it gives you a tire company, recruits as district sales manager. But it's the same numbers, or same types. Same thing with 9, same thing with 10. The difference is, when you get to 10 and 11, you might have to find some percents of different numbers. So if it says 20% of a number, then you got to put 0.2 times that, whatever that number is, like we did for the house. Okay? You gonna be okay, Brie?
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys think? You guys okay with this? We'll see. So on page 425 to 426, it's 1 through 11.